Talk so here. I read a book. I'm going to tell you about it.
Don't open the book.
What book?
Come with me if you want to live. Go read a book, pussy.
Ooh, baby, you bumped your head. Be careful.
This dude sounds creepy as fuck. Why? In person, he is a total daddy, his face alert and hard, softened only by the slight recession of his hair. It's awkward. It's like, alright, it's like the word moist. Nobody likes that word. Goddamn. She knows. Okay. I just have to say, I nailed that intro. That was a little bit of footage from when I was reading the book on stream. I tried to read as much as I could while I was streaming. Obviously it's nice to have footage to go back and refer to and see my initial reactions as I'm reading the book for the first time. Today I'm going to be talking about Luster by Raven Leilani. She's a New York-based author, and this is her debut novel. So congratulations to her. Luster is one of those. It's one of those literary books, meaning I was kind of hesitant to pick it as the first book that I did a review video on. There's a lot of hype around it, and I mean after reading it, I can say it's well deserved. Anyway, let's get into the book. I'll spare you the long summary. You can read that on Wikipedia. But basically, this story is told from the first-person perspective of our protagonist, Edie, a young black woman who lives in New York. The narrative follows Edie as she struggles through a world that's alternatingly oblivious and obstructive. At times, it seems like it wants to swallow her whole. The language Leilani uses in the story is interesting. It's a reflection of Edie in a way. It's elegant when it wants to be, but always frank. As if it knows better, but it's too tired or pissed off or constipated to care. And I think the frank language of the story is really where its strength lies. It reading it became sort of a transcendental experience in a way. Like, I found myself relating to the protagonist much more than I thought I would going into it. And when I finished, the best conclusion I could reach about Edie is that she's human. She's just deeply, frantically human. Despite her own doubts, she's not a dozen gerbils in a skin casing. And just to be clear, the character is not a symbol of past or present injustices against black people or other people of color in the United States. This is not an angry black woman's story. I know this book has a lot of support from people of color and from literary circles, and maybe this doesn't need to be said, but I could see this novel being criticized for the way it handles some of the subject matter. And I don't know, as a white guy in the middle class who was born and raised in the South, I just want to speak to anybody watching this video who's maybe Maybe you look like me. Maybe you think we relate. Maybe you're hesitant about reading stories by people of color because it's kind of scary. Like, it's kind of scary to see what they think of us, how they see us. But just remember, that fear that you feel, imagine what they feel every day. Just to pull it back to the story, this is what I concluded. Edie's struggles are a near homogeneous combination of systemic injustice and personal baggage. The result of which is a messy reality that gives readers a glimpse into a life that is theoretical to too many of us. I use the word theoretical intentionally. You should read the book and find out why. Thank you. Okay, this is the portion of the video where I'm going to read some discussion questions that I came up with. Spoiler alert, the questions could give away some of the things that happen in the story. So if you plan on reading the book and don't want any prior knowledge, stop right here. Come back after you've finished. You can, if you would like to respond to any or all of the questions, feel free to do so in the comments section. You can also join my Discord. I'll leave a link below. Or you can just come find me on Twitch, ttv/talksslow. I don't have a set schedule right now. I'm online when I can be. But I'm always happy to talk books with anybody that comes into the stream. And hopefully, if this thing takes off, we can start scheduling live shows specifically to come together and talk about books that I read and review in the future. Have a little online book club. Okay. Discussion question number 1. Is Edie responsible for her termination at the publishing company? Why? Why not? Next question. In the final sentence of the novel, Edie says, I am waiting for someone to put me down onto the canvas so that when I'm gone, there will be a record, proof that I was here. What are some examples of Edie being put onto the canvas? Now, asterisk here. There is a lot of sex in the book. Maybe not a lot, like an adequate amount. There could have been more. But there could have been less too. There's some sex in the book. And you could interpret this question in a sexual context. But being put onto the canvas does not specifically refer to sexual conquest. That wasn't where my head was at when I thought of the question. There are other ways to interpret it. And what I was thinking when I came up with it was, like, think about the way Edie cuts her hand and leaves a blood stain on Mark's carpet before she walks out of his office. That is the way I see that. That's kind of that fits the metaphor. You know, she's putting a piece of herself onto the canvas. And that's just one example. There are definitely others throughout the book. I'd be interested to see what you pick up on as you read it or after you read it. Next question. What does the title mean? What does luster mean? Next question. There's very little dialogue between characters in this book. Typically, characters' words are mostly conveyed through Edie's own internal narrative. What purpose do you think that serves in this story? Have you seen this technique in other books you read? Do you like this technique? Do you wish there had been more dialogue and you had heard words, straight from the other characters in the book, or do you like that it's filtered through the lens of Edie? Last question. Did any parts of the novel make you uncomfortable? And did you do your homework and unpack it and figure out why? Do you feel better about it now? Does anything still bother you? Are you sleeping? Did you get enough to eat? What size shoe do you wear? Okay. Bye.